Jin finally spoke up? The most daring scene of his career was hidden by HYB. Everyone panicked when one detail on the bed made ARMY speculate massively. What's really going on behind the scenes? And why did HYB suddenly stop the music video called Jin's most honest work? This is not just a comeback. This is a match. Jin finally spoke up? New facts behind the most daring scenes of his career. Is this the beginning of a major split between Jin and his own agency? Have we just witnessed one of the bravest forms of silent protest a K-pop idol has ever staged against the system? And if that's the case, why was the video never released? One big question that is now resonating around the world. What exactly is the genie hiding behind the bed scene? ARMY is not just hit. They are angry. They're confused. They feel betrayed by something invisible, but very real. And that night, when Jin suddenly posted something cryptic on social media, the situation turned into a storm full of suspicions and theories that shook the global fandom. What does Jin mean by the word clue? Why did he write it in English, capital letters, and only one word in the upload has now been deleted? More suspiciously, the music video, which was originally scheduled to air at 1800 hours Korea Standard Time, was actually stuck without official notice, as if something in the video is too dangerous to release to the public. But why? Is HYB really trying to protect Jin? Or is it something he wants to express personally? Bed scene. That's the center of it all. Not because of sensuality or cheap gimmicks as the entertainment industry often plays, but because in one moment of silence, Jin put something down. A little thing. Almost invisible, but very deliberate. The camera panned it for only a second before it faded to black, but long enough for ARMY sharpshooters to notice. A black notebook with handwriting on the cover. The last truth. What's that? Is it part of a fictional concept in a music video, or a real message from a genie? And if it's just a property, why did HYB hastily postpone the release of the video? Why is there no immediate clarification? ARMY anger doesn't come without reason. They were not only disappointed because of this sudden delay, but because they felt as if they were being kept away from the most honest side of a genie. Isn't Jin always known as the most honest and transparent member? Isn't he the one who often sends messages to his loyal fans? And now, when he does the most daring thing of his career, perhaps too daring, everything is suddenly silence. In his last interview before the solo promotion began, Jin said that this project is something I've never done, and probably will be the only one like it. At first it was considered a form of pride for musical experimentation, but now it feels like a sign. Did Jin know from the beginning that this video would face obstacles? Has he prepared Clue as another way to convey his heart's content? The speculation grew even crazier when some fans who attended the limited pre-screening in Seoul admitted to seeing an early version of the video that was much more emotional and darker than the publicly released teaser. They mention a scene in which the genie appears to be looking in a mirror and scribbling her own face in black ink. A scene that never appeared in any teaser or promotional material. Was that part of the truth he wanted to show? But it all comes back to one question. Why didn't HYB allow the video to be released? Is it due to internal pressure from the company? Is it because the content of the video is too personal, too political, or too confrontational? Is it because HYB is afraid that the video will provoke a reaction from certain parties, perhaps even from the government, or large groups that have an interest in the narrative of K-pop idols? Or is Jin trying to voice something about his life that has been confined to the standards of a perfect idol? If we look deeper, this project is indeed full of symbols. From visual concepts full of locks, closed doors, and eyepieces, to song lyrics that talk about the world that was chosen for me and the word I can't say. Then now, clues in that bed. And HYB, who was suddenly silent. Not a few fans began to voice their disappointment through the hashtags #LetJin and #ReleaseTheTruthMV, which within 24 hours became trending in more than 30 countries. They demand answers. They demand transparency. Some even suggested a boycott of other HYB releases if Jin's videos continued to be put on hold. But in this chaos, The most painful thing was to see Jin remain silent. Not a single official statement came out of his mouth. Not on Weverse. Not in the media. Not through the live stream. Only one thing he did: replay his old song, Abyss, in his Spotify public playlist. The song, which she wrote herself, is about depression and a sense of lost. This his way of speaking? Through subtle clues, because the original voice can no longer be allowed out. And what does all this mean for the future of BTS? Did Jin warn you? Is it about itself? Or is it bigger than that, about the system, about the agency, about everything that has so far been packaged in a sparkling light and yet hides many wounds? We don't know. But clearly, this is not just a marketing drama. It's not just another delayed MV. This is the moment that can change everything. Jeannie, with all her courage, has set the stage for something much bigger than song. It's about honesty, about the fight, about an identity that can no longer be silenced with artificial scenarios and narratives. And HYB, if they continue to withhold the video, will further lose the trust not just of the army, but of the world. The question now, will Jin talk? And if so, is the world ready to hear the truth from its own lips? The most painful thing of all is that we all know the genie will not do this for nothing. He is not the type of idol who is just looking for sensation. Unlike the rumors that are often made by the media for the sake of cheap clicks, Jin is known as someone who is careful. Why risk everything this time? That one clue in bed might only last a second, but the effect was longer than anything imaginable. The world is now asking, is the Jin in danger? Or more than that, is he trying to tell us that he's not as free as we think he is? The theories emerging in the fandom community are astounding. Some say that the notebook that reads, "The Last Truth," is Jin's real record of bitter experiences in the industrial world. Some claim that Jin had long harbored plans to deliver his last message in musical form before his full return to the military. There is even speculation that the music video contains confessions of mental distress, disagreements with management, and a request for help disguised in artistic symbols. And HYB? Shut up. And oh, apologies. There is no official explanation. There was no press conference, as usual during the fandom uproar. Even more suspicious, all the staff involved in making the video removed the behind-the-scenes content from their accounts. Photographer, art director, video editor, even the lighting crew who had posted a special lamp for the bed scene. Everything suddenly disappeared. What exactly is being covered? ARMY's anger isn't just a disappointment over a delayed music video. It's about fractured trust, about the feeling of being lied to, about the pain of seeing someone they love struggle on their own against a system that so far looks perfect on the surface. When Jin was not given a vote, the army made their voices louder. The hashtags #ProtectJin and #HYBExplainThis continue to climb, following previous hashtags that have gone viral. International petitions sprang up. Even overseas fanbases began to gather evidence, and suspicious times led to the alleged censorship of this project. Some fans also revealed HYB's patterns of behavior toward the artist, how Taehyung's videos were modified without his consent, how Jimin disappeared from the radio broadcast schedule, and how Jungkook once said, "A lot of things we can't control." Is it all related? Is it time the public realized that the world of K-pop is not as beautiful as neon colors and synchronous dance on stage? Jin's title track released on digital platforms without a music video is titled Gatekeeper. A title that sounds simple, yet holds deep irony. The lyrics? More than poetry. It was a letter, a plea, a warning. Behind a locked door, I keep everything you must not know. But tonight, I give you one key. Hold on tight, because they will try to take it back. Why did Jin write such lyrics? And why only one scene did HYB hold back? Why the bed scene? Is that the key, you mean? If so, isn't it very clear that this is not just a metaphor? This is rebellion. Not by shouting, not with anger, but with symbols, with silence. The courage to cross boundaries. Part V. Questions HYB can't answer. What is HYB afraid of? Public reaction? Reputation? Or a truth too dark for the world to know? Why do they release songs but withhold visuals? Why was the creative team silenced? Why was Jin left alone to face the storm? And if all this is true, is there pressure from external parties, perhaps from large investors, shareholders, even the media, trying to control the narrative? Here comes the biggest problem. When music is no longer about expression, but about obedience. When the work of art turns into a tool of control. And when an artist as big as a genie has to find a veiled way to sound. The night the music video was supposed to air became the most mysterious night in BTS history. Thousands of people are already ready on the official YouTube channel. Countdown goes on. Chat is filled with purple emoticons and support, but that comes up only one sentence. This content is currently under review. Please wait for further announcement. There's no follow. A week after that silent night, one question haunts the entire army in the world. Where is Jin now? No new photos. No video clips. There was no response from HYB, and worst of all, no sign that Jin was okay. Usually, even while serving in the military, Jin still takes the time to greet fans through small letters or light updates. But now, quiet, empty, like a video cut too fast, like a song that stops at the most heartbreaking stanza, like someone asked to be quiet or forced to remain silent. And more questions are circulating. Is the genie being locked up? Is he being frozen from all activities because he dares to insert clues in works of art that should be controlled by the company? Some fans even compared the situation to past events. Another K-pop idol mysteriously disappeared after showing signs of defiance towards her agency. But this time it's different. This is no ordinary idol. It's Jin, the oldest member of BTS, the figure that has been considered the most loyal. If only he could be treated like this. Who's safe? After redissecting footage that was leaked and re-uploaded by fans before being taken down, one piece is in the spotlight. Jin sat on the bed, wearing a crumpled white shirt, eyes looking straight at the camera. Behind him, a painting hangs. But the painting is unusual. It looked like the silhouettes of 6 men in the fog, with one figure standing on the far side, holding a golden key. Silhouette of 6 people? Isn't BTS made up of 7 members? Who is the 7th figure holding the key? And more importantly, why doesn't HYB want this part to air? Some say the painting is a symbol of Jin, who broke away from BTS in order to open the truth. There is also a theory that it is a reference to how only one of them dared to speak. But one darker narrative emerged from the closed forums, that Jin was telling the other members not to interfere. Why? Because if he himself is already isolated like this, what about the others if they support him? A few days later, the world was shaken again by an unexpected incident. A mural of Jin with the text, "Let him speak," appears on a wall in Seoul. Not long after, fans from various countries, Brazil, France, the United States, and even Indonesia, carried placards with the words "Release Jin's Truth" in public areas. It did not take long. The Korean police began to put the mural in order. But the photos and videos have already spread around the world. Now, it's not just fans who are talking, but the global media are starting to wonder. What really happened to BTS's Jin and his agency? But HYB's reaction? Again, silence. As if they didn't answer, the issue would evaporate. But not this time. Because the army has crossed the line of trust. They want to know. They should know that NO official statement. But like Jin, some members started giving out codes that couldn't be considered coincidental. Jungkook, in a short V-Live broadcast, said, "Sometimes what we don't say is much heavier than what we shout." Meanwhile, Jimin, who is known to be very close to Jin, uploaded a short story with the song "Eyes Closed," accompanied by key emojis and teardrops. Then taehyung posted a picture of a cloud with a caption, "The sky is too wide for us to be imprisoned in silence." What does all this mean? Isn't it obvious that they know something we don't? Or rather, they are not allowed to talk. And one genie's post that was still left before it all disappeared. The caption now feels much more haunting. Sometimes, honesty can only come alive in a second of video. 1 second, one scene, one bed. A Jin is fighting back. Is that enough to make the world collapse? Now it all depends on one thing. Will the genie be given room to speak again? Or will we miss the last chance to hear the truth he is trying to voice? Many say that Jin has already shot the second version of his music video, the one that has been cleaned of all clues. But the army insisted that it was the original version that the world deserved to see. The question is the world brave enough to see the truth as Jin wants to show? Or are we all too comfortable in pastel-colored lies and synchronized choreography?